Believe it or not, there's still a lot of people that dislike Microsoft and dislike Xbox. I don't get it. Trust me, I've kind of racked my brain about it. I understand the game situation. Nobody understands that more than me because I harped on it for 2 years when Microsoft was kind of just dragging their feet with a lot of things, and I felt a little bit upset by that. Haven't gotten over that. They have released Forza Horizon 5, Halo. They've released some quality stuff. I've noticed that the quality of the games has gone up, which is very important. It's equally important to every other kind of metric that you can have out there for video games, and it's keenly important that they continue to improve the quality and make sure that the quality of games going into Game Pass is that of a high quality standard. A lot of people kind of compare that to Sony and what Sony's doing. Sony does something completely, totally different, and so I think that it's a little bit of an unfair comparison, especially when Sony says things like, well, they couldn't really afford to do it, or they would actually have a dip in quality. I'm sure that they would as a company, since their company relies heavily on the profits that PlayStation makes. And if you're setting up for a service, you're not making profits for a while. So yeah, I could see how the quality would dip for them, whereas Microsoft can afford to play the long game and invest in the games to make the quality even better. Let's just be honest, nobody's going to pay for a service that's putting games in it if they're all the quality of Crackdown 3. It's just not going to happen. You have to have high quality stuff in there, and I think that's what we're starting to see from Microsoft. But this bit of news, studio news, kind of an interesting bit of information, and I wanted to get into it quickly. Hey everybody, I'm Crab Gamer, and this is Crab Gamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice a few changes around here, but that shouldn't stop you from leaving us a like and possibly consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. It means the absolute world to me. And, if you are spending some free time watching some of my videos, hey, why not go ahead and leave a like? It's pretty much all I ask. Please leave a like, and while you're at it, go ahead and, do that. It helps the video be seen, and it helps the channel to grow. So yeah, it's actually pretty awesome when those two things come together. So we know that Microsoft is in the middle of buying Activision. We have all kinds of rumors that Sony's about to buy a company. The latest rumor being that it's going to be a Japanese company. So it foregoes a lot of the regulatory issues and things like that. Here in America, I'm still sure that there's probably some kind of regulatory stuff that goes on there with anything that goes on sale in America, but we'll see how that works out. Anyway, when it comes to Microsoft picking up Activision and possibly other studios afterwards, a lot of people that I've noticed, and maybe it's because I follow the wrong people on Twitter, maybe I don't know, but I also I do the podcast on Fridays with Mooch, and it just seems like a lot of people are kind of hoping that the Microsoft buyout of Activision doesn't go through, and I'm kind of racking my brain on this. People keep posting these videos about senators and stuff like that. The interesting thing is, a lot of people don't realize that the senators really don't have any say. They can make recommendations, but the funniest thing to me about the whole thing where people are propping up senators or whatever, whether you're attacking them or propping them up for their view that on this whole acquisition thing, it's silly. Because senators like to do a lot of grandstanding and things like that. First of all, Microsoft is actually Washington's favorite tech giant, and there was a new article that actually came out that talks about that. Basically, back in 2020, congressional committees were actually about to interrogate CEOs of 4 tech giants. In 2020, Microsoft Corporation President Brad Smith, whose employer wasn't on the new seat, gave the lawmakers a personal briefing. And actually, he basically kind of endorsed some of these things and helped them out tremendously. He's been a veteran of Microsoft for over 30 years and president for 7. He maneuvered a lot of different things for Microsoft as well. It's being examined as the corporate tries to ease and find the best way for their largest ever acquisition, a $75 billion buyout of Activision. While regulators have to approve the deal, lawmakers and business representatives say it's laborious to think about any of the opposite 4 largest U.S. tech firms, Apple, Amazon, Google, or Father Alphabet Inc., or Facebook, Meta, being ready to even try to win approval for an acquisition of the dimension within the present atmosphere. If this was any of the opposite four common suspects, the blowback could be a lot better, mentioned Senator Mark Warren. Mr. Smith's technique has been to cooperate with regulators who typically have Microsoft's rivals within the crosshairs. He has criticized Apple's operation of its App Store as Microsoft tries to deliver its Netflix for gaming service to the iPhone. He has supported measures to chop into Facebook and Google's dominance of digital promoting, which may benefit Microsoft's search and digital ad companies. His help of tech sector rules has endured and reduced towards efforts by Amazon, Microsoft's fiercest rival in cloud computing, to combat constraints on its enterprise efforts. His staff pulled Microsoft out of the Commerce Association created to assist the tech business to communicate with one voice on authorities' actions. So he's actually helped a lot and communicated a lot with a lot of the people that have been opposition of what's going on in this whole type of situation. But the most important thing that I have taken from this is the fact that, we're seeing a lot of these types of moves and people trying to maybe hope that Microsoft doesn't pick up Activision or whatever. And I always say, to what end? What's the alternative? Are people really thinking this through? Okay, when you think about this on any kind of level, first of all, we look at Call of Duty. Call of Duty is always the best-selling game of the year. You might be able to make a case for a game like GTA 5, which continues to sell well, and that might have beat Call of Duty the year it launched or something along those lines. But Call of Duty, even Vanguard, which was looked at as a sales failure, is still the best-selling game of the year. So it's always interesting when Call of Duty usually takes two of the top three spots for best-selling games of the year. The previous entry always is in the top as well. We need that in the industry. First of all, we need that big juggernaut. It helps every year, every time they do a quarter or yearly analysis and they say, oh, it's up year on year, blah, blah, blah. Call of Duty is a big part of that. You guys don't understand how badly we need that. The second part is you have entrenched management in Activision right now, including Bobby Kotick, who really needs to kind of get out of the way, right? Like, if you think about this, nobody is going to want to work for Activision under current circumstances, right? They're also forcing all of their developers to work on Call of Duty for the most part. I mean, everybody's doing Call of Duty. And some of these developers were highly talented developers that are able to do other types of games and franchises. Do you guys ever want to see another Tony Hawk Skater or a Guitar Hero or a or a Spyro the Dragon or a Skylanders or a Crash Bandicoot? There's so many different games out there. There's so many different amazing things that they could do. I just don't understand how it is that people cannot want Microsoft to do this. No other company can swoop in and take them, right? Like, people that go, oh, well, maybe Apple can get it. Or like, why would you want Apple, who's not even in the console business, to do it? Like, I understand that a lot of people dislike Microsoft, but understand that people on PlayStation and Switch are going to get the games anyway. Microsoft would just clean things up, right? You would actually have Phil Spencer as CEO on the board. People love working at Microsoft. If you look at Microsoft, they're listed as one of the most diverse companies in the world and as a top 5 place to work in the world. So why wouldn't people want that to kind of change? People have expressed excitement who work at Activision that they can't wait to work for Microsoft. Because if this deal doesn't go through, you're looking at a hit in the stock. You're also looking at a continuation of just more kind of mediocre Call of Duties and no other kind of games. And eventually, people are going to quit, and they're not going to want to work for these studios that Activision has. And we're going to see more suffering for Call of Duty, and the game's not going to sell well and things like that. It's very important for this company to rebound. And I feel like for it to rebound, it has to be Microsoft to help bring it there. And if the games are going to be on PlayStation and Switch or Nintendo anyway, what's it matter? Like, Microsoft is just going to help everything kind of streamline it, become a better place to work. And I think that people are kind of forgetting that. And even past Activision, because there's rumors that Microsoft is still looking to buy other studios and things like that. Let's hope that they continue to kind of bring that out. Like, I would love to see them pick up more studios. The thing that you don't want to see is some of these other companies swooping in and picking up a lot of these studios that could possibly take games away from Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo. That's the other thing. It's like, for the common good, you want these companies, you want this to go through, right? Like, I would love, like, I know people don't believe this, but I would love for, Sony to get a Konami, or Microsoft to get it, like whoever. It doesn't matter who gets them, honestly, because the reason being is we just absolutely get zero games from Konami right now. So any company that picks them up would make games from those IP, honestly. So I don't understand how people could be against getting games. It honestly doesn't make any sense to me, and I would hope that you guys understand where I'm coming from with this little bit of kind of information and kind of thought process of how things go. I just think that they need to kind of do that, and this needs to go through. Even for other companies, I think it needs to go through. So I'm going to link this. You guys can check it out. Microsoft is looked at very favorably, and I do hope that they kind of go through with this and that they get what they need to get. With that being said, thank you guys very much. Have a great day. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up. Crap gamer out.